Acts chapter 7, verse 1. Then said the high priest, are these things so? He said, men and brethren and fathers, hearken. The God of glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Haran, and said unto him, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee. Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans, and dwelt in Haran. And from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into the land wherein ye now dwell. And he gave him none inheritance in it, no, not as much as to set foot on it. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when he had yet no child. And God spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage, and entreat them evil 400 years. And the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, saith God. And after that they shall come forth and serve me in this place. And he gave them the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begat Isaac, and circumcised him the 8th day. And Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat the 12 patriarchs. And the patriarchs, moved with envy, sold Joseph into Egypt, but God was with him, and delivered him out of all his afflictions, and gave him favor and wisdom in the sight of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house. Now there came a drought over all the land of Egypt and Haran, and great affliction, and our fathers found no sustenance. But when Jacob heard that there was some corn in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. And at the second time Joseph was made known to his brethren, and Joseph's kindred were made known unto Pharaoh, and sent Joseph to call his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred 75 souls. And Jacob went down into Egypt and died, he and our fathers. And they carried over into Shechem, and laid in the sepulchre that Abraham bought for a sum of money of the sons of Emor, the father of Shechem. And while the time of the promise drew near, which God had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt, till another king arose which knew not Joseph. And the same dealt subtilly with our kindred, and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children, to the end they might not live. In which time Moses was born with exceeding fair, and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up, and nourished him for her own son. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deeds. And when he was full 40 years old, and it came into his heart to visit the brethren, the children of Israel, and seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him, and avenged him that was oppressed, and smote the Egyptian. For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that God by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them as one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren, why do you wrong one another? But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, Who made thee a ruler and judge over us? Wilt thou kill me as thou didst the Egyptian yesterday? And then fled Moses at this saying, and was a stranger in the land of Midian, where he begat 2 sons. And when 40 years had expired, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai an angel of the Lord in the flame of a fire in a bush. When Moses saw it, he wondered at the sight, and as he drew near to behold it, to the voice of the Lord came unto him, saying, I am the God of thy fathers, the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Then Moses trembled, and durst not behold. Then said the Lord to him, Put off the shoes from thy feet, for the place where thou standest is holy ground. And I have seen the affliction of my people which is in Egypt, and I have heard their groaning, and am come down to deliver them. Now come, I will send thee to Egypt. This Moses whom thou refused, saying, who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did God send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush. He brought them out after that he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness 40 years. This is that Moses which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me shall ye hear. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with our father he received the lively oracles to give unto us, to whom our fathers would not obey, but thrust him from them, and their hearts turned back again into Egypt, saying unto Aaron, make us gods to go before us. For as for this Moses, which brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. They didn't even know what come of him. And they made a calf in these days, and offered sacrifice unto the idols, and rejoiced in the works of their hands. And then God turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven, and gave them up to worship the host of heaven, as it is written in the book of the prophets, O ye house of Israel, have ye offered to me slain beasts and sacrifices by the space of 40 years in the wilderness? Yea, you took up tabernacles in Moloch, and the star of the god of Remphan, figures which you worship them, and I will carry you away before Babylon. Stephen is just telling them their history. Our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he had appointed, speaking unto Moses that he should make it according to the fashion which he had seen. Which also our fathers that came after brought in with Jesus the possession of the Gentiles, whom God drove out before the face of our fathers unto the day of David, who found favor before God, and desired to find a tabernacle for the God of Jacob. But Solomon built him an house. Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in the temples made with hand, saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, the earth is my footstool. What house will you build me, saith the Lord? Or what is the place of my rest? Have not my hand made all these things? You stiff-necked and circumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Holy Ghost, as your fathers did, so do ye. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? And they have slain them which slew before the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers, who have received the law by the disposition of angels, and have not kept it. When they heard these things, they were cut in their heart, and they gnashed at him with their teeth. Now they were saying that he had spoke against Moses, spoken against the temple, lied and said the Lord desired to change the laws, to change the things of Moses. Stephen showed them by the laying out of the history that he not only knew what the history was, but this was what he was ministering. It wasn't the truth of what he was ministering that it was a problem, but that they had been told once again that they slayed the Lord of glory, that they disobeyed God just like their fathers did in the wilderness by killing the prophets. Stephen, we leave you with Stephen's testimony that the Lord is God. Thank you for joining us today at Christianity Back to the Basics. You can reach us at Restore, Renew, Rebuild Ministries at yahoo.com. You can also write us at P.O. Box 920-822, Norcross, Georgia 30010. The church phone number is 404-553-1106. Thank you.